Welcome to the Girls Ask Guys show. My name is Ashley, and of course, I'm here with John, and we are here to talk about hot topics and dating, flirting, relationships, and all that stuff. Today, we are going to be talking about being yourself and why being yourself is so important. Right, John?
Oh, yes. And we're also going to be kind of taking a look a little bit at why being shallow isn't exactly what you might think about.
Yeah, it's a pretty hot topic, especially when it comes to dating. And our first question is actually about being shallow and online dating and being shallow. It comes from Alfie Solomons. He's about 17 and he wants to know, is Tinder proof of how shallow girls are? John?
Yeah, he explains a little bit more about it, and he's looking at why Tinder is all about looks. Both guys and girls are on it for all sorts of reasons. Now, guys typically have way less matches than girls. However, they also are liked way less than girls also. He continues on with, I've seen girls' Tinders and they have hundreds of people who swiped right on them. And then they have like 100 matches. Guys barely have any matches. And he also says, I'm an ugly guy, and as a result, I only have 71 matches. Hot guys would have like hundreds. I actually happen to disagree with him on ugly guys having like 71 matches and stuff like that. He actually needs to understand how online dating works, especially Tinder.
Yeah. I mean, I think confidence is key. You can tell how confident someone is in their profile. Like to put yourself out there and say, I'm an ugly guy, so I only have 71 matches. Maybe it's not your face as much as it is your profile. Yeah,
your profile and the type of photos that you're using. When you investigate and look at Tinder, and this is something I've done because I tried Tinder. Me and Tinder really didn't work out. And it's not because of anything I did. I just don't live in a large enough area. I mean, Tinder is great for Chicago, Houston, New York, Miami, Los Angeles, places like that where there's millions of people on that platform. But if you only have one or two, that's not going to work. You need like 5 or 6. You need to look at what you're including in that picture. Are you with somebody? Are there other people in there? What kind of life are you projecting? Your pictures constantly need to be updated because every time you change something, the algorithm raises you higher. The longer you let it sit there, the further down on the list you fall. So you're not going to get as many matches. You constantly have to be updating. Your pictures, you need to show not only by yourself and what you're doing, but also with groups of people. Pictures of you by yourself, it just shows the other person you have no friends and that you have a lonely life.
You know, it seems like there's a self-esteem issue here, Alpha Man. Like, look at yourself in the mirror, find 3 things you love about yourself. Get that confidence up. That confidence is going to translate online. Believe it or not. Like, it translates through every part of your life. It translates when you're on the phone. It'll translate when you're, engaging with someone via text message. That self-esteem, the self-esteem you have, loving yourself is so important, and it's so needed when it comes to finding girls or even friends.
Everybody has body issues. Everybody has body issues. I mean, my ears stick out way too far from my head. I mean, if I'm going to get honest about it. But do I let that bring me down? No. I got to the point where, look, this is me. Accept me for who I am and what I am. And tell you the truth, I have never in my life have I had any girl look at me and go, your ears are too big. Because they just don't notice. They look at my personality. They look at how I walk. They listen to my tone of voice, my gestures, my mannerisms. And if you think you're ugly in general, you're going to be talking with this soft voice. And, hey, how you doing? Dude, what do you want?
Right. Also, if you're looking for some sort of validation in how many women find you attractive versus validation in one woman who's willing to be loyal to you and a companion, then you're looking the wrong way and you're just doing the wrong thing. Like you said earlier, you might be from a small town. Stop putting so much pressure on the number because, you emphasize numbers a lot. You're saying 100 matches and you have 71 and, hot guys have hundreds. Stop looking at the numbers. You have 71 matches. Okay. You have 71 girls who are interested in you.
Life is not Facebook. I mean, every post you put up there, oh, nobody liked it. I mean, who cares? When your day on this earth ends, your likes, your matches, and all that's not going to matter. What people are going to remember is what kind of person were you? I mean, I heard an old quote, and it's one that I live by. It doesn't matter how much money I have. Doesn't matter the cars I drove, the house I owned, the clothes I had. None of that matters. The person who wins is who has the most people at their funeral. I want a stadium packed. I want to have touched that many lives in a positive way. Dude, you're not going to get there if you think that you're ugly and things run on an algorithmic statistic. Who cares?
Yeah, and also when you have these pictures, number one, let's get rid of the downstairs pictures, people. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to see what's going on in your business until it's time to get into your business. Also, if your profile just says like cool guy,
yeah,
what am I doing? You know, like you be specific because you're looking for a certain type of person.
Yeah.
So be that person. Be yourself. You know, who are you? Don't be who you think every girl wants you to be. Be who you are, and you'll attract the mate that you want/deserve.
Yeah, and you also have to look at how Tinder was set up. There's actually a documentary on online dating and all of these different platforms that are out there. Tinder was specifically set up for colleges. One of the designers went to a sorority house and showed them the app in its infancy and said, put your pictures up there. Once the girls did that, less than 10 minutes later, she's over at a frat house showing all the guys. There's girls on here. Look. And there you go. That's where your left and right swipes went. So you have a lot more women on those platforms than you do guys in the beginning. And now it's reversed. There are millions of guys on there and not as many women. So yes, the women are going to get a whole lot more because the ratio is out of whack.
Yeah, dude, yeah. And when you explain that to me, I'm like, oh gosh, that makes so much sense. See, I'm not a big fan of the Tinder myself because it is kind of shallow, you know, it's pictures. But, and when I look for someone and I'm doing online type of dating, I do take the time to read their profile. Now that I know that the guys to girls ratio is insane, it makes way more sense that guys are having less matches, you know? It's almost like an ego boost,
yeah.
You know? Now that I think about it.
Yeah, because when you look at it, it is who's hot, who's not. So guys are sitting there going, hot, 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 no, hot, no, no, no,
right.
Hot. I mean, so that's pretty much what they're doing. They're not even looking at any of the profiles. And when the girls are getting these, especially the new plus or the gold, I forget what it's called, where you upgrade your account, there are girls that I went out with and they showed me what their profile looks like. They stopped using it because they had so many matches. I mean, it was insane. It's like hundreds or thousands. And she's like, I can't do this. I can't make heads or tails out of it. Because once a guy swipes right or hits like or does the super boost like thing, she has to go through and sort all of that. And she's just like, nope, 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 just to clear it out. I mean, she doesn't care if he might have been a good match. She's like, nope, 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 nope. I'm just trying to clear it out.
Yeah.
Nope, 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 nope. I was like, holy shit.
That's insane. Yeah. I think what this guy is saying, and I feel kind of bad for him because you can tell he's pretty disheveled based on his description, that like he really isn't finding anyone. Nothing's working. But you can also maybe try changing, you know, the type of girls you swipe. I mean, you know, you say you're an ugly guy, so I don't want to believe that. That's horrible. There's no
there's somebody out there for everybody.
Right. Maybe stop swiping on every single blonde Brazilian model you see and give, you know, plain Jane a chance.
Yeah, there are many women that I've gone out with. Now, every person has their own value as to what they consider beautiful. No joke. I've got this guy at work and he likes big women. And I'm not just talking your average, ordinary big women. I'm talking your big women.
Yeah.
He finds those type of women beautiful. Other guys, they like the little small itty bitty petite girl. Some like blondes, some like brunettes, others like redheads. Everybody's different. My personal 10 is not going to be your 10, and it works for girls as well. What you consider a 10 isn't going to be what the girl standing next to you considers a 10.
Right.
She may, girl, what are you talking about? He's a 3 at best, and maybe that. So everybody's different. So saying that you're ugly, I'm not buying it. I'm calling bullshit on it because every single person is different.
Yeah. Yeah, basically that's it. Everybody's different. I mean, you're probably looking at this, well, this should be easy. I should be able to get a girl,
Yeah.
get a girl. Online dating is just like regular dating, only a little bit harder because at least when you meet someone in public, you can see that person's body language, you can see their mannerisms, when it's online, you're going through just their profile and just their picture and just their word. And you have to take that words and condense it into, is this person attractive?
Yeah. I mean, when I was working in photography, and oh my gosh, working with models, especially the entry level, like they're just starting their modeling career. Oh my gosh, my butt's too big, my butt's too small, my breasts are too big, my breasts are too small, my hands are too big, my hands are too small. I have my left ear is a little bit higher than my right ear. And I'm sitting there like, we never even noticed that stuff. Everybody in the world is still saying you're attractive, but you're saying you're not.
Right. And it's almost mind-boggling. And I think we all go through that, especially Alfie, because you're young and being young. And I know when I was, late teens, I would think to myself, here goes another old person telling me about myself. But it's true. You go through this thing where you're going to pick yourself apart. You're going to find things that are wrong with you. You're going to hate certain parts of yourself. And the thing is this, don't, I found 3 things about myself that I love. And from there, I found 3 things about myself I could improve. So that 3 turned into 6. And now I don't care if I only have 4 matches on Tinder. Those 4 people are the people who appreciate who I am and why I love myself. I'm not going to change because 71 people say, oh, you're cute, but, your teeth could be a little straighter.
If you believe that you're ugly, and I'm being straight up with you, the stuff that you see wrong with yourself, most people will not even notice.
Right. Have you ever talked to someone and, you're having a conversation with them and they're like, sorry, my voice sounds weird. And you're like, what? Yeah. And now I think you're crazy, and I have to emotionally validate you because I don't think your voice is weird. And now I know that this relationship is going to be work because you are going to apologize for things that don't even matter.
Yeah. Like right now, like I've mentioned in the last show, I got into it at work and I chipped my front tooth. Yes. Now the people that I see every single day, yeah, they noticed that my front tooth is chipped. But with the girl that I met just a couple days ago, never even mentioned it. So, and I'm sitting there, I'm talking with her, and in my head, I'm going, man, this isn't going to work because my grill is fucked up. It didn't matter. I mean, I still took the chance and I talked with her and it worked out.
Yeah, it's when it comes to proving whether girls are shallow or guys are shallow on Tinder,
it works both ways.
Exactly. Everybody is shallow on Tinder. I mean, it's not like Match.com where you're filling out this entire, or even OkCupid at that. OkCupid, if you want to, I'll tell you, the most comprehensive, rundown of a person you can get. If you're looking for somebody special, you go on OkCupid because it gives you like the percent of match of personality, your religious beliefs,
your hobbies.
Whether you guys, your hobbies. I mean, do you like to jump on one leg? It's all the questions in the book and it answers all of them.
And if you're one of those people that is into some of that, let's say extreme sexual type stuff, there's a place for that.
Yes, there is. Yeah. Anyway, there's a place for that. And just, you want to go to that place. So it's harder. Go out, get off Tinder. That's not where you want to meet people. You're young, man. Go to a football game or something. That's where the women you're looking for are. They're not there. So you're probably not going to find the matches you're looking for.
Tinder has lost what it was originally created for. It is now nothing more than a game because you're looking for, how many matches did I get today? How many people super liked me? Do all the stars and everything flutter around the pictures and stuff? It's a game. And of course, people are going to be shallow on it. As you said, proof of how shallow girls are. Guys are doing the exact same thing. So really, it goes both ways. It's not just girls, it's guys as well. The supposed hot girl in the bikini, she's going to get more swipes than the girl who is sitting on her couch reading a book in her sweats. That's just the reality of it. Ooh, she's hot. Ooh, Next.
Like you said, it's not just girls. It's girls and guys. Tinder is literally proof of humanity. Humanity's shallowness. And I've met maybe 2 or 3 people who've met on Tinder who've pursued an actual relationship. But like you said, it's a game. It's hunting. You're hunting for someone to hook up with. You're not hunting for a mate. Yeah. And if you are, you're probably on Bumble.
And even with Bumble, because Bumble was created by the lady that I mentioned earlier, when she went and took it out to the sorority and over to the frat house, that woman created Bumble and reversed it. Instead of the guys always approaching, she made it so that the girls can do the approaching. I can understand the viewpoint, but still the girl has to do the approach. And today's society is changing slowly. It's changing where girls are starting to approach more because there's that social stigma that goes with girls approaching. Oh, she must be desperate.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
I think it takes a lot of balls for a girl to approach a guy, believe it or not. Like, I think when a guy does it, it's kind of expected. But when a girl does it, it's kind of a culture shock, and it's very, very brazen.
Really, it comes from that old English standard. Guys are supposed to go to her parents and ask permission and all that other stuff. He's supposed to do that. So that's really where that came from. But if I'm going to summarize Tinder, I would put it into, it's Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. That's what that is. Hot, 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 no. Hot, 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 no. I mean, that's how I would look at it. I mean, it's like Instagram.
Exactly. It's Instagram. You will see the most beautiful woman in the world. You meet her in person, and you really have to pull up your phone and double check to make sure that this is the same person, because people are there to give people what they think they want instead of giving people who they actually are.
Yeah. Go on Instagram, take a look at somebody that is close to your 10, and then look at how many votes they get. And the girl in the bikini, through the roof. Same girl, she's in sweats, almost no votes. The guy, same thing. Guy who sits there, has got his shirt off, 6-pack abs, working on an 8-pack, votes through the roof. Puts his shirt on, nothing. Tinder is all about looks.
Yeah, man.
First and foremost, it's all about looks.
And it's a tragedy, but it's also, if you're someone who's not looking for a serious relationship, you're just trying to hook up with people, it's a great way to weed people out. It's a great way to, hey, you'll send the message DTF, and then the girl will say yeah or no, it's that kind of thing. And finding out first of all, identifying what you want will actually put you exactly where you need to be in the online dating world, I think.
And this goes right into that follow-up question that we had from Pimpin' Penguin 24. He's 20 years old, and he asked, why does everyone say be yourself when nothing seems to work out?
This is deep. That's a deep question.
He says, I like to go out and have fun and everything, talk to a lot of people, and just have a good time. I'll go out and meet a girl, and it seems like we have a great time, but when I reach out and try to meet up with them again, nothing happens. That's a tough situation to be in. We constantly hear, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. And really, what does that mean? Do you have any insights on that?
Being yourself to me is being the person that you feel the most comfortable being. And if that's a loud, obnoxious, boisterous person, there's plenty of people out there, plenty of married people out there. Gilbert Gottfried, I'm sure, has been married.
Yeah.
Gary Busey's been married 3 times. There's 3 women willing to marry Gary Busey. So being yourself is being confident in who you are, but also knowing that there's a time and a place to be the most you.
To let it all hang out.
Exactly. The first time you meet someone, you don't want to be intentionally off-putting.
Yeah.
So, let's say you're kind of a pessimistic person, or you're kind of a glass half empty kind of human. And there are people like that. And that's fine. You don't want to neg everything that the person's saying. And also, on the other side, if you're like an optimist, you're a glass half full kind of person, you don't want to be a freaking puppy dog.
Oh, that show of Friends where, oh, isn't this the most amazing thing you've ever seen?
You don't want to give people headaches with who you are.
I think that's what a lot of people, they keep hearing. Be yourself. Be yourself. People are going to like you for being yourself. But at the same time, people are like, I don't even know who I am. And that's where you kind of have to sit down. And again, going back to my pickup artist days, when I was just starting out, for those of you who have never had any contact with that culture, there were classes where we sat there and they handed us this worksheet and said, write down who you are and who you want to be. Talk about some pressure, because you can't move on to actually figuring out how to talk to girls or talk to guys without finishing that. You got to know who you are. So take some time, sit down. This is who I am. This is who I want to be. And then slowly start working to be that. And then you will actually know how to be yourself.
And then also figure out if you like yourself. There was a long period of time in my life where I didn't like myself. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like, how I looked. I was very much trying to fit into a box that I didn't fit into. And once I figured out the steps I needed to take, 16-year-old Ashley would see me now in my late 20s and be so proud of me, because 16-year-old Ashley was a real big liar, a big chameleon who had to change for everybody at every time and every place. Late 20s Ashley, listen, you don't like me, I don't even care at this point. I am too old. I work too hard and I am too tired to sit here and try and put on a face. Once I figured out who I wanted to be, like you said, write down who you want to be. I became that person, because you can change. If you don't like yourself, change yourself. It's the easiest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to admit, though.
It is. It's the hardest thing to admit, because my 16-year-old self would look at me now. I wouldn't even recognize who I am. Same thing. I was a chameleon. I hid behind a camera. That was how I got to talk to girls, because I would take pictures of them. And hey, what 16-year-old girl doesn't like posing for the camera? There's a couple, but I used that as a crutch. But when I was hanging out with the jocks, I acted one way. When I hung out with the hardcore punk rockers, I acted another way. I was a chameleon. I was able to float back and forth between all these different groups. And at no one point in time was I myself. I changed who I was to fit in. And it wasn't calibration. I literally changed so I could fit in. And as I grew up, I looked at who I was and I was like, this is not where I want my life to go. What do I want to be? And the Marines kind of helped me on that a little bit. Yeah, you're going to become what we want you to become.
A little bit. It's funny because, the one thing I will say, if you are a chameleon and you're listening to this, and you're like, hey, that's me. There's one benefit to being a chameleon as you get older, is that you become so knowledgeable about so many different things. And the reason you're a chameleon usually is because you want to fit in. You want everyone to like you. You want everyone to be, basically on a hero worship of you, and nobody says any bad things. But if you get all those people in the same room, none of them are going to know who you are. But as you get older and you decide, hey, I don't like this about myself, you can sit those same people in the room. You can let's say you correct all the lies that you've told. You'll still be able to talk to each and every one of them, because you'll have that knowledge.
Yeah, and I've gone to university. I've taken different college courses. I started off with photography. Then I started studying law enforcement. Then I went into mass communications. Then I studied psychology, and then I studied sociology. I mean, I never stuck with any one thing. And as it turned out, me in college just didn't work. A lot of what I know is all self-taught. And what that does is it helps when I go into a business meeting or any kind of social function. I may not be an expert on every single topic, but I might know enough about a little bit in order to open up the conversation so that they do want to follow up with me.
Right. And that people enjoy talking to you, because very few people have I ever met that were just awful. Even if they're not the same, even if there's someone I didn't get along with. Just because I don't get along with you doesn't make you awful. Just because the people in, let's say you live in a small town, just because the people in your small town don't understand you, that doesn't make you awful. What makes you awful is being a person nobody wants to be around because of your personality. So don't think, because I think that gets in a lot of kids' heads too, is, my parents don't want to be around me. 9 times out of 10, it's because you're a teenager, and teenagers are just
teenagers.
headaches.
We tend to be headaches. I know everything.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, and it's amazing how much because I thought I knew everything. I had everything figured out. And
I was a genius.
Oh, yes. Turned out I didn't know shit.
I had a whole roadmap of how life is supposed to go. Yeah. And how everything was supposed to work out in my favor, and how this was supposed. No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was one of those teen movies go to the movie theater and
yeah,
Divergent. That's how my life's going to be. It's going to work out.
Right.
No.
I took off my glasses, shook my head, and then people fell around me falling in love. You know, like, no, man,
Exactly.
That's not how life works
at
all. But being yourself is important, and it will work out. It may not seem to work out right now because you're having a great time with someone, then you reach out and nothing happens. Okay, well, maybe this isn't your final destination.
And also, if nothing happens, take into consideration that maybe something has come up in their life where they can't get back to you immediately. And then so much time has passed, they feel strange actually reaching back out to you. I've had that happen to me.
The person I'm dating now, when we first started talking, they were busy. Like, they had people in town for 2 weeks. So we had a great conversation for 2 weeks. All of a sudden, drops off the face of the earth. And I'm like, I'm thinking the same way. Well, I must have just been myself and nobody, rejected, blah, blah, blah. Turns out, Uncle was in town. It was like, boom.
I've been with a girl and we had talked for maybe 20 minutes, maybe. This happened a while ago, so I'm pulling numbers out there. But we were talking for maybe 20 minutes and had a great conversation. We exchanged numbers and we agreed to meet up. So I showed up and she didn't. And I'm like, what the hell? I just got stood up. What happened? Because, none of the signals were there that this wasn't going to happen. Well, time had passed probably about a month and I bumped back into her. She's bouncing up. She's like, oh my God. And I'm like, you rejected me. What the hell? Turns out she dropped her phone in the water. It wasn't just water. It was like soapy water. So it completely ruined everything. She lost my number. She didn't know where to reach me. She forgot the date that we were supposed to meet. So just everything, just a domino effect. And she was so apologetic. We actually linked up after that. But yeah, life happens.
And sometimes people just aren't interested. And there's nothing you can do about that. This is what it is. It's not necessarily you. It's not necessarily them. Sometimes it's just not in the cards for either of you. And it hurts, especially if because I think we've all been there. We really like someone and they didn't like us back. And there's 7 billion people in the world. And if you're looking for one, it's going to be kind of hard to find them. So, if it doesn't happen, it's defeating. Very much so. It's very much so defeating. And you're going to get your heart broken more times than you can count. But when you finally find that one person, all that other stuff doesn't even really matter that much.
No. And so, I think the whole moral to the story is when people say be yourself, yes, you want to be yourself, but you need to know who you are before you can actually be yourself. And you can't constantly be changing back and forth. And when it doesn't work out, if you reach out and they don't reach back, it could be in the cards that it's not going to happen, but you can also give them the benefit of the doubt that something came up that it's impossible for them to reach back out to you. It is what it is. There is no easy answer. That's reality happens. And with that, we are out of time. I want to say thank you for listening, and it is really appreciated because without you, we wouldn't be here. I'm here to give opinions on guys.
And I'm here to give opinions on girls.
And together, we'll be figuring out flirting, dating, relationships, breakups, and everything else. So go out there and live life on your terms. Be the star you were meant to be. Hope you join us again so we can master this thing we call life together. This has been a production of The Girls Ask Guys Show. Visit us over at thegirlsaskguyshow.com where you can subscribe, submit your questions, and request to be a guest on the show. Go ahead and leave us some honest feedback and let us know how we're doing. We really appreciate everyone listening, and we will talk to you on the next one.